Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I was busy reading the paper, catching up on yesterday's events. Well, actually, I wasn't. If this were 20 years ago, that's what I would have been doing to catch up on yesterday's events. But because of technology, we have so many more ways of getting our information and our entertainment that we need to take a look at this as a study in marketing and understanding how old media and new media are different and the impact that they've had on our society. So when we take a look at old media, what we're talking about essentially is newspaper, radio, and television. Now, back in the day, and I hate to sound like the old guy in the room talking about back in the day, but back in the day, the newspaper, television, radio, when they reported on the news or when they actually had entertainment, there was a little bit of credibility to this. We actually took it seriously. It was one of those things that represented the core American values. And that's how people looked at the media, was that this was a reflection of what's going on in society. New media has changed all of that. We look at social media, virtual reality, and things like blogs. And basically what's happened is we've taken information and entertainment and put it in the hands of the people. Now, instead of representing a societal viewpoint, we're representing individual personal viewpoints in this. So we're going to take a look at this a little bit more closely on the next few slides. Let's take a closer look at old media. Old media at one point was a great way to relay information. The problem is that there was a delay in that information. Essentially, it was a recap of the previous day's events, or in some cases, a recap of what happened several hours ago if we're talking about television and radio. But because of that delay, the information was accurate. News people actually took great pride in being able to deliver factual information that was reported correctly. It cut down on gossip and word of mouth reporting because we had access to real news. Now, post 1950, we saw a media explosion. And we'll go back a little bit before that. In 1946, there were 17,000 homes in America that had television sets. By 1953, that number had increased to 2/3 of the homes in America having television sets. And when we got to the 1980s and we saw cable come along, this was a huge boom, and the number of people that had access to television, had access to information, and a number of people that had access to actual news sites, that all changed when we switched over to this new media concept. And there are a lot of ways that we see new media. One of those ways is what we call blogs, or in some cases vlogs, or even podcasts we can get into with this information. And this was one of the early new media formats. This was easy access to information, and it was interactive. People actually relied on comment boards and actually feeling like there was this one-on-one connection to their audience through their media. We also saw the increase of virtual reality. Virtual reality put us into a simulated environment, but it actually involved all of our senses so we could actually feel like we were in the moment. And it's a great way for marketers to use this, and we're starting to see this a lot more in a lot of different areas, but we're starting to see where people are immersing themselves into the situation. This actually can be applied across multiple applications, and it's incredibly interactive when it comes to being able to connect one-on-one with a student, with a customer, with whatever it is that you're trying to do. Another type of new media is social media. And this might be the greatest change that we've seen when it comes to new media is through what we look at as social media. It's allowed people to be able to create, share, and exchange information through essentially online communities where we can connect with people that we've known for years or connect with people that we've just met, but we can do it in these online communities that expand the globe. We can connect with people all around the world and share this information. I think that's changed a lot of what we look at as far as what we consider factual information when it comes to news and entertainment. The average person in America spends 1.72 hours per day online because it's so accessible. It's so easy to get information that we can just click through with one touch and we're in our social media. It's actually 28% of all online activity that we do now, and that's a lot when it comes to all of the different things that we could spend our time doing and all of the different ways that we can access information, that we're spending 28%, over a fourth of our time through our social media accounts, just basically talking with other people. I think it's really changed the way that we interact with people, though, because we don't really have a lot of face-to-face communication with them anymore. We would much rather connect with them online and be able to share our thoughts that way. We've also seen a change in online news. And what that's done is it's blended the media. It's taken what we would normally see in television and radio, and we're still seeing it there, but it's putting it into multimedia formats online for people to go and access. The problem with it is that it has taken the power of information and put it in the hands of the individual. So now everyone feels like their comments are important, and everyone feels like their information is the correct information. And it's making it a lot more difficult for individuals out there that are watching online news to decipher what is factual and what is not factual. And it's changing the way that we actually are able to interact with knowledge, because we have to be much more careful about citing the credibility of our sources and claiming something to actually be fact. But we know that this is a booming industry because what we've seen is a huge jump in ad revenue. In 2003, $1.5 billion spent in online news for advertising. By 2014, that had more than doubled to $3.5 billion. I hope that you guys were able to get a little something out of this, and we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through the class. But for now, class is dismissed.